First of all, let me say, what a gorgeous group of people, right? What a fantastic group of people SME4Labour brings together. And could we just have a little bit of appreciation for the phenomenon that is Mr. Ibrahim Douglas. How does this guy get any rest? Like, that's what I'm going to do. Do you want to know something? There are many things in my political career I'm very, very proud of. I once won my local agricultural show with my green beans and potatoes that I wrote. It's a pretty competitive thing, right? So honestly, deserves a woo. I have the fact that I kind of am the only parliamentarian who looks a bit like George V, right? That gets a lot of... To be accurate, I have to do that. When I was first elected, I looked like Prince William, but it was a lot of years of opposition. I went a few generations back. But let me tell you this, and this is pretty special. My right-hand man, Tom, here, reminded me this. What if I told you that we were there together, Ibrahim, for the first ever British Kebab Awards? That's right. It wasn't always the big thing, you know. What was it like in the beginning, Ibrahim? I mean, wow, you had to be there at the start. I remember, I think I was actually the chair of the judging panel, wasn't I? I mean, I don't know how you managed to sign me up to that, but it turned into a massive success. Give this man another round of applause for the brilliant work that he does. So, friends, it is a massive privilege to be the government chief whip. You're at the heart of things. You're in charge of the relationship between government and parliament. It's a little bit weird because every time you even ask to see a friend, maybe stop by for you just want to chat about the football or something like that, you sort of send out, I wouldn't mind seeing my constituency neighbour or whatever, and people basically send back a message saying, what have I done? Please let me off the hook. And you're like, no, I'm just here for a friendly chat as your chief whip. But I'll be frank, it's true. But I love still to come to events like this, and I miss many of you in terms of the work we did together day to day. And I'm so proud of many of those things, whether it's our work on late payment, which we will legislate for in the next parliamentary session, making sure that this country is the country with the most stringent conditions to make sure small businesses are paid fairly and on time as they should be. I think of the work we've been doing together, really changing how businesses interact with the state, with the government, so that can be one that reduces bureaucracy and makes it easier and stops the multiple different ways you have to interact with different government agencies. I think of our wider industrial strategy, what that means for the supply chain, and everything from the money that's going to the British Business Bank to the investment in skills to reducing industrial energy prices, all essential things for the future. But Claire correctly mentioned what I like to call my big three, those trade deals that I think are going to make a massive difference. And we need to do more of these. But look, at a time where so much of the world has kind of started to begin looking in on itself, there is so much more protectionism in the world. That could have been a route this government went down. And instead of that, we have done a trade deal with the biggest economy in the world, the US. We've done one with our biggest trading partners in the world, in the EU, and we've done one with the fastest growing big economy in the world, which is India. And all of those things go to the heart of what I think a government should be doing, putting into effect that pro-business, pro-worker platform, because what is good for the workers at Jaguar Land Rover is also good for the small businesses who benefit from that SPS agreement with Europe when it's in place. Things that of the country. And I know right now, as Claire said, everyone is thinking a little bit about the budget. We love our fiscal events in Britain, don't we? The minute one budget is finished, we start speculating on the next. And it's true to say, if the OBR make the assessment, which many people think they will, as to the productivity growth we'll see in the future based on the previous, in the main years of Conservative government, there'll be a challenge that comes from that. And there are different audiences that this budget has to address, all of which are equally important. There is the public story, which is always at the heart of what any budget has to be about, the sheer cost of living pressure many of our fellow citizens face. There's the wider political story we want as a Labour movement, as well as addressing things like inflation. But as Claire has also said, that has to be, for me, a budget that recognises the private sector's risk and reward and the need to really fundamentally get this country back to the growth which many of us grew up expecting, but which we haven't had now for nearly 2 decades. And you are at the heart of that. You are essential to doing that. We cannot get out of the economic pressures we're under unless we provide you with that confidence. And I can tell you, not just in this job, but in any job I do, I will always take that message to every government committee, forum, meeting, public event, conference that we have. And I am so proud that what we had at the election in terms of that relationship between business and Labour being so evidently on display. Yes, I know things are harder in government, but I still believe this organisation and this dinner reflects the fact that our values are aligned, that we have the shared interests and the shared ambition to change this country for the better. So friends, it is a pleasure as ever to be with you tonight. Thank you, Ibrahim, for this tremendous organisation and this tremendous event. There are tough times, but they're the better times because frankly, good times in opposition, it's still opposition, right? What all of us are here tonight for is we believe in changing this country, changing it for the better, working together to do that. Not the easy answers of things that aren't really answers. They're just ways to address some of the discontent that's out there and seek to harness that. We're the people who want real answers, want real change, want to make a real difference. So thank you so much, friends, for what you're doing. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for this fabulous event, Ibrahim. Let's have more of this and continue working together in future. God bless you all. Thank you.